What if the future is a collective growing process which reacts, adapts, and grows or decays over time, combining computation and natural inputs? States of Growth explores types of intelligence and the nature of growth, manifested in ever-changing virtual sculptures. It is inspired by common patterns and scaling tools which are used across the brain, landscape, and city growth, including inspirations from fractals and differential growth.
Participants are invited to contribute to the present and future growth of the project. Passive and active EEG data is transformed with fragments of the data influencing the 8 chosen parameters of the growing system, leading to a unique, collaborative digital architecture.
Together with Politecnico di Torino and Turin's first Condominium Museum Viadellafucina, we explored brain structures, urban and growing systems, and human needs for interaction and green living.
Viadellafucina16 is the first experiment of a condominium museum worldwide. The heart of the project is to propose artistic public contributions inside of an inhabited building, able to create a dialogue between the numerous local communities. Around 200 people are living here in the 53 apartments who partly took place in the growth of the virtual sculptures.
Cities can be described in terms of the microstructure. This knowledge can provide insights into scaling properties of urban structure, supporting better policies. Urban modeling can be done through geometrical, differential, and allometric models.
Tangible and intangible socioeconomic variables vary in proportion to the urban dimension. Among the most critical issues is the environmental impact of socioeconomic activities. Our research group is concerned with the application of multi-scale data analysis and machine learning for monitoring environmental features, such as the greenhouse emissions related to urban wastes.
As part of Politecnico's research, we are looking into medical images of the brain. Image processing plays a fundamental role in analyzing the growth of tissues. Physics and technology come in handy to accurately recognize irregular regions with fractal dimension analysis.
Inspired by the very nature of the brain, with its relentless process of generation and destruction of synaptic connections, we developed a three-dimensional version of the differential lattice algorithm. Inside an imaginary vat, a dense collection of neuron-like agents in turbulent motion continuously reconfigure their connections, forming complex, volatile 3D networks.
The lattice networks are then imprinted onto a volumetric density field, with regions of high connectivity resulting in voxels of high density. This digital grey matter is finally passed into our marching cubes algorithm, which consolidates it into an agile polygonal surface always in motion.
Through this work, research and exchange, we think technology plays an important part on the future of the city. However, it isn't and shouldn't be the only driving force. We discovered collective intelligent inputs and growth that contributes to the city through a balanced symbiosis where we listen to diverse people and nature with the help of critical art and science approaches.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back after the lunch break. We are back to the showcase of the 3 final winners of the call, the state of the city of the future. I took a piece of their title, it remained in my... And we are with the third project, States of Growth, that has been presented by the studio Above and Below, and I introduce you to Daria Jelonek and to Perry James Sugden. Together with us, there's also Anna Carbone from the Politecnico di Torino, welcome, and Brice Coniglio from Viadellafucina16, which was the cultural partner, also artistic director of Coniglio Viola and Canisian House. All together, this group of artists, researchers, and cultural partners have had the possibility to work on a project that is called the States of Growth, and that has answered to the challenge to organize, simulate the organization of brain structure over space and time by exploring tools based on artificial intelligence. That was the challenge given by the Politecnico di Torino, and the studio answered with this proposal. Please, Daria and Perry James, can you introduce us into your world and your proposal?
Yeah. So we're Studio Above and Below, and we're a practicing art duo, and we're based in London. For the last 3 years, we've been working in the field of extended reality, primarily augmented reality. And this project, we really knew that we wanted to carry on working with augmented reality, but exploring different data sets, and the starting point of the briefing and the project was using data from the brain.
Yeah, and as you already read out, it was quite a challenging challenge. However, we were inspired by it because at the same time when we read about the open call, we were actually working on another project where we started looking into brain structures, brain signals and brain data, and how you can take this biodata and create artworks which are more reactive to you, but also which immerse you maybe into meditative environments and so on. That's why when we read about the challenge, we were really interested to further actually broaden our view onto the brain, but also we were inspired by the term of experiencing over space and time, and we were asking ourselves how could we do this, and but at the same time we also this came up then why we applied for this open call. But at the same time, we've chosen, for example, Viadellafucina, because we were really interested by this idea of not only bringing art into the public space, into the city, for example, but really actually into an inhabited building, which we never heard about before. So what if you bring art into a house where actually 200 people live? And really this combination of this very scientific approach and our interest of broaden our knowledge about brain structures and brain data and how we can make this more tangible through art, but also bringing it actually back to people. I think this is what interested us in the very beginning.
Yeah. I think to add, the film we showed, a lot of the documented objects, the sculptures that were made, they were made by participants who wore the headset, and they were all based on the data set that we were given by them. So that was very important in the project as well.
And where did they come from, the participants? From the city or from the environment of Viadellafucina?
First of all, it was obviously it was a collaboration between all of us. So, for example, how we received the data or generated it was through a public talk that we did at Viadellafucina, where partly people who lived there came to the event, but also people from Turin, but also people from Politecnico. So it was actually where this event where we involved everyone into this project through a talk and a discussion, but also at the same time actually recorded their data, which is then the base for those living sculptures that we created. Yeah.
And how was the connection and the relationship with the Politecnico?
So I think it was great from being on site here and working over the web with 3 of Anna's students. So we were introduced to the students and they really dived deep into their research, and we got to know them not just as collaborative partners but friends as well. And yeah, I think it's been really great.
But also just the research fields were very, very diverse. On the one hand, actually, exploring the brain from a more medical point of view and why it's important to look into it, but also at the same time seeing the connection between brain structural growth and city growth, and how are there links, are they interconnected, how are they both being explored, for example, with similar tools. I think this is something that we really learned from the research at Politecnico, which we've never thought about in this way before. So it really broadens our view when we talk to the engineer students.
Anna Carbone, yes. From your point of view, from the Politecnico point of view, first of all, why did you choose this challenge? And are you satisfied? Maybe satisfied is not a right word, but was it a good collaboration? How did it work?
Yes, so good afternoon, everyone. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Linda, and thank you all the Nesta team, because they were really supportive during all this experience. That started 1 year ago when we started to discuss about the challenges per se. So first of all, I have to say that I am a physicist working in data science and in, let's say, developing tools for random data analysis. So this is quite, let's say, an unusual field to have an impact on people. So we thought a lot about a field that might be really challenging from the technological point of view, and this is really the neuroscience, because all the neuroscience, because of the structure of the brain that is not easily reachable by the eye, by the usual standard techniques, requires high technological tools to be investigated. So we use, for example, analysis of brain images, and we develop tools for this analysis. So we thought that this might be a field with a great impact. And so I would say that the challenge was very successful. We received more than 40 applications. That was really a success for us, because this was a great response to our challenge. And then the selected team was really very collaborative, excellent, with a lot of expertise in related areas. And during the months where we worked on the challenges, this grew even better than expected, and that's why we succeeded in involving our students. You could have seen during the video that 3 engineering students, 1 recently graduated, and 2 engineering students were really involved in developing these tools. So I'm really satisfied, more than satisfied, and the collaboration was really amazing, because we created really a team where Perry and Daria had a leading role in order to, let's say, create like a glue with this kind of visual arts across different fields of research in data science. So this was really a success for this team. And so I'm really grateful for their work.
Super. That's a good news, because it's always tricky. As you said, the challenge was already future-looking, and you had several proposals. So to choose one out of 40, it means that it was the the right one to work with, and also across disciplines. The transdisciplinarity of the proposal is evident also from the video we've seen. And how the Via della Fucina came into, I mean, I know why Daria and Perry chose it, and how did you, Brice, reacted? It is true that Via della Fucina is a unique experiment in Italy.
Yes. It's all over the world.
In the world. At least in Italy, we know. How did you react to their proposal?
Well, I really was happy they chose Viadellafucina16 as a context for the residency, and I think, as you know, I am an artist as well, and also focused on new technologies. So I really was happy that Viadellafucina16 could host Daria and Perry. And actually, their project talks about tangible and intangible transformation. That is actually what we try to do in their context. I can explain for who doesn't know the project, the residency project. Viadellafucina16 is a building in the heart of Porta Palazzo. The real name of the address is Via La Salle, but Via della Fucina was the ancient name. And actually, I am an owner, one of the 40 owners of the 2,000 people who lives there. So 4 years ago, I proposed to the community of the inhabitants to do something for that place which was in a real state of neglect from 30 years, and I just proposed to put my house, their house, available for artists who came from all over the world and who wanted to leave their artwork in the common areas, such as the stairs, such the courtyard, and so on. But it was supposed to be a very small project, just a condominium project, just something among us. Instead, now, after 4 years, I'm really happy we have started a collaboration not only with Nesta, not only with Compagnia di San Paolo, with Politecnico, but with many international institutions. And we are happy that so many artists have chosen to come there and experiment in different ways. Actually, because the place is inhabited, and so you really have the chance to involve not as a community, not as a whole, but to have individual meetings. And Daria and Perry really succeeded in doing that, because we organized an illegal event, I mean an unofficial event, because the official one is this one, in trying to give, to create this contact. Their project talks about tangible and intangible, and in our process, you see a tangible transformation of the building that every year are enriched with new artworks. But what it really changed is that people change the perception of the place where they live. So it's also a democratic process. It's also a participation process.
Daria and Perry, has this collaboration been the first that you've done in this way, so with research and communities, or you've already done it? And if yes, will you do more? Are you interested to continue this kind of eccentric collaborations, let's say?
I think for us, it's the first time we've fully immersed ourselves into the experience and research for 25 days. So in the past, we've worked with scientists and done different research and development projects with different participators, but maybe it's been more passive. And with this project, we've definitely all been immersed and with it, like a part of it for a whole month, which has been really nice. And to carry on with that would be great. Yeah.
At what stage is the project, and what is next?
So the stage at the moment, we've developed a fully functioning app that can take the live data from the headset, and that stores on our server or laptop. Okay. And we could, in theory, we could launch the app to the App Store at the moment, and that data set could exist on the App Store, but at the moment...
So the idea is that you're going to launch it, or not?
At the moment, I think this is like a collaborative decision, and I don't think that's important with the project yet, unless it becomes like a location-based piece where like geolocation is needed, and these data sets are exhibited in different locations across the city or at different times and places with different people. But I think it's all very possible. So we're in a good point.
We think our vision in the beginning was that it's actually this ever-evolving and ever-growing sculpture, which people can feed, but for example, which also lives on its own if people are not using it in that sense. However, throughout the process, we actually, we received all the data from different participants here in Turin, and we actually think it's really beautiful to exhibit those single sculptures by every participant on its own and really watch them, because sometimes, maybe to give everyone a background how we actually did it, every participant was wearing this headset for 5 minutes and was like more in a meditative state, and we didn't know, maybe the results look all the same, or we didn't know, but they all look really different and really beautiful in its own way. And and this is actually at the heart of the project. Like, brain research and city research and growing research is so complex, and this project is really, a grasp to make this a little bit more tangible, to show the beauty in it, to show the ever-evolving structures of it, and that's why actually seeing those sculptures on its own is, I think, this is how we think it could exist in the future as well, for example.
A more artistic also view of the project.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. And Anna, this level of democratization of the scientific research is something that from like the research point of view is always looked for but difficult to reach. So do you think this kind of collaborations, transdisciplinary, are helping this going into the society?
Yes, indeed. It is always seen as something to be reached, the impact, but difficult to achieve or impossible to achieve from the point of view of the scientist. So I think that this kind of organization that was new also for me, because I had many interdisciplinary collaborations before, but not like this. And this aspect of democratization and also the impact at the local level was new. Yeah? And so I think that this is of paramount importance for science, and especially if we really want to achieve the transformation that we were discussing this morning during the main panels, and the urban transformation, the social transformation that we want to achieve, and the intersection between different needs that has been highlighted by the COVID situation. So we learned a lot. This was discussed this morning by Professor Calderini and the speakers during the panel at 10. And I think that this kind of experience will be crucial for the next future, the immediate future. And I can see that our team, the team of Per, Daria, and the students were really successful to make this achievement real. So I really agree that, one aspect that you were discussing about continuing this collaboration. I must say that everything was perfect, instead the duration. So we would have needed a longer period in order to develop further these ideas that were really challenging. So I hope that there will be future opportunities to continue and also to intersect with the other challenges that had many aspects in common with this. So, and really create an ecosystem of challenges with the two projects presented this morning will be really a target for this initiative.
The City of the Future program and call actually was born with this aim, so to, in the end, interact and intersect the different challenges and make them work as an ecosystem. I hope it's going to be possible anyways.
We are here to help.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please. I would love if you can name the students.
Yes, of course. First of all, in alphabetic order.
In any order.
Yes. Or, the lady first, Valeria Fama. She's a student in our Politecnico in physics of complex systems. She's, Valeria. And she's working on the analysis of brain images. And then we have Emanuele Canensi. Is a student, a Master of Science student in computer engineering in Politecnico. And finally, Pietro Murialdo. He graduated in management engineering. Okay. So, one might be surprised how this interdisciplinary team could work together, but this was really
the key point.
The key point, yeah, exactly.
Thank you, and thanks to the students. Just the last word to understand whether at a local level there was an impact. Did you have feedbacks from the individuals, the people that met the project, Brice?
They are really curious to see the final results because some of them they were almost afraid to put the helmet on. But after a few days, they came to me and asked me, "When can we see the sculpture of my brain? I'm really curious." So this was the reaction.
They will remember it.
Yes, but we wrote all the emails, and so they are waiting.
Yeah, this was stated in the challenge.
Yes.
So you can say that we wanted to achieve exactly that.
And then I hope that we will leave a mark on the common areas also of your passage.
Yeah, we plan on leaving a series of prints of the sculptures, in the common area. On the stairwell.
Super, fantastic.
But maybe to end with some insights that maybe Brice also doesn't know, but when, for example, when we had this event and people actually from the house came there, actually neighbors met each other which never talked to each other before. And this is really where we thought it succeeded, when you bring art to the public space or into an inhabited building and actually new people meet and make new connections. And this is where we hope the project will live on, that it's really a public experience that brings people together and challenges how we see computational and artistic systems together. So
I think this is exactly the challenge that the City of the Future call was posing, the possibility for art and science to reach an impact, to have a real impact on normal people, on individuals, on a local context. So thanks so much. It was an amazing conversation. Thanks to Claire, to Perry, to Anna, to Brice. We are closing the showcase with this third project. It was a very successful, I would say, program of 3 winners. We hope that is going to continue even on individual basis or also with an interconnection. I thank Nesta for being brave and having the guts to put on a call like this that in Italy has never been seen before. Italy is not a country where there is an investment on this kind of interdisciplinary research. There is a lot of investment, on university research, very little on artistic research. So the idea of putting it together and having also enterprises and having local context to be linked, I think it was unique and I hope it's going to be possible to do something similar in the future. I thank Compagnia di San Paolo because it has always been supportive and has understood the strength of this proposal, and I thank all the audience that followed today this showcase. We have now a little break before the next session. Thank you, everybody.